So, like venom coming off of Spider-Man.
You just peeled the face
I am Titty.
Jim Carrey, the mask. I'm Steve. Not the mask.
He's not the mask.
I'm just Mike. No big deal.
Just Mike.
Just Mike.
Not just Mike. This is the Alaska Woodshop Mike.
That Mike.
That's your new moniker, man.
You all
got to
know.
sell this shit.
You all know him. You
Sell
all
it.
love him.
Yeah.
He's got the wood every morning.
Yeah.
Get your wood on.
Every morning, every afternoon, every evening. He's just walking around with constant wood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's my kind of dude. My kind of dude.
Hey, when you're my age, what don't hurt don't work, man. So you just take advantage of everything that stings.
There you go.
And
I
if it-
said there you go before I completely digested the ramifications of your statement.
Hey, well, I tell you what, if it
If
don't
it
hurt, you make it
stings-
hurt so it'll work.
Okay. Well, all right. Flog the log, if you will.
Yeah.
But
There you go.
But if
A
it's,
riding
if
crop
if it's
and
stinging, you might want to
Viagra.
see
Now you
somebody
slam
about
it in
that.
the door. That works.
You know, I'm just saying. You know,
Now you slam it in the door. That works better.
slam it in the door.
Yeah.
Is that what they do in the Navy?
I was never in the Navy.
I don't know. I'm not in the Navy either. So
Wasn't there a joke? Oh God, wasn't there? Like, whenever I remember something, wasn't there a joke? Like you guys have all heard it before. There was something about an Army dude and a Navy dude in a shower or something, and they're talking about dropping the soap, and the one guy's like, "Oh, fuck no, you never drop the soap," and the other guy's like, "Oh, that's why ours is powdered." Or something. Terrible. Fast forward past that. Go back and fast forward past that. That was terrible. Anyway, there's a joke out there that
No, but
pits the.
when I was in, I used liquid soap. There was no, if
Navy
it
has
fell on the
liquid
floor,
soap.
it stayed there.
Oh, did it?
Yeah. When I was in basic, if it hit the floor, it stayed there, man.
Did that only go for soap? All right. So, yeah, welcome to Breakface. Titty Steve, Mike here. We're going to fucking blow your minds this week with some things and stuff.
things.
Or we may legitimately blow your mind and talk about stuff and things. Go. You guys got nothing. This is killing me.
Got nothing.
Wow.
Well, I think we ought to start off by being serious for a moment and talking about what happened in Florida.
Yeah, let's do that.
Prayers for the 17 we lost, and
Yeah, thoughts, prayers, hopes, everything go out to them. That
it's
was
a tragedy.
Again.
It's tragic.
Again.
It keeps happening, and what do we do to stop it? Of course, I mean, so we've got suggestions, and everybody has a thought and idea, and everybody's probably seen an opinion or two on social media about now.
Every person in the country right now has an opinion. Everyone is behind a keyboard. Everyone's on a camera. So, I don't want to go into what I think the possible solutions to the epidemic that seems to be plaguing us now could be, but definitely don't agree, and I would like to personally pop that dude myself. Just saying.
In my humble opinion, it takes a good guy with a gun to stop a bad guy with a gun.
It really-
That's, I mean, when you call the police, that's a good guy with a gun. I mean, so the trouble is police can't be everywhere, so therefore you need to arm certain segments of the faculty that can pass the background check, that are willing, and that can assume the responsibility of a firearm and lay down some effective counterfire when the time comes. That's my humble opinion and the solution in the matter. But
it's your opinion, but it's not far off from actually the truth. Like, what is the Second Amendment about? The right to bear firearms.
right to bear arms. Period.
To what? There's like a whole thing
Revolt.
to
Seriously. You read that
prevent revolt or to revolt.
when the government gets out of control, to revolt. If you look at it real carefully, that's essentially what it says, is that people are allowed to carry guns.
George Washington
so
flat
that they
out
can-
said that
Yeah.
we should have sufficient arms and ammo
to control the government.
to defend yourself, from tyranny.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah,
because
but what's
they-
tyranny? Government out of control.
Okay, well, so without going in like a philosophical or whatever debate about it,
We just
does it not? Everybody wants to revoke the Second Amendment, right? When this shit happens, okay. And I don't want this to be political,
no.
but fuck, I'm losing my train of thought. What, like you said, what if we arm the teachers, or there was security on the campuses? And I know that's terrible, but it's obviously come to a point where that may need to happen, because what they want to do, it's already been politicized to the nth degree. What they want to do is like basically take guns away from everybody. They're going to do all this weird shit. The guy that got the guns, did he get them legally?
Well, it doesn't. Murder's illegal. That kid
Murder is fucking illegal.
That kid knew that murder is illegal, and it didn't stop him. So making guns harder to get for law-abiding citizens isn't going to stop that kind of stuff. It just don't.
Well, you're interested in an opinion from a 100-year-old guy that's seen what makes it work?
Gun-free zone stop sign there didn't stop it. So
no, but 100 years ago when I was in school, and I know
100 years.
That's close enough.
We had guns.
Well, you pulled into the school parking lot.
In the back window with the pickup truck.
Every pickup truck had a gun, and I tell you what, the worst thing to think about doing was grabbing one of them guns and going in and getting stupid because
everybody else had a gun.
Everybody was carrying a gun, and about half of the students, or half of the teachers rather, had guns in their desks.
The principal would come show you his Remington 1100 semi-automatic that he just got, and you two of you would go dove hunting after school.
Yeah. So my whole point is that it just wasn't going to happen. Yeah. It was not going to happen. And there's also a different respect level.
It was a different time back then.
Yeah,
absolutely a different time.
I think it's a direct correlation with ass whippings, if you ask me.
Mm-hmm.
I deserved every one I got, and I didn't turn out. We didn't.
I missed out on a few that I deserved. That's how ass whippings went.
Well, sure, there's a lot of stuff I didn't get caught. But
my sister took one of mine that I should have got.
I'm pretty sure there's a couple that my mom wished she could get back, where I was laughing at her.
Is that true? Do you notice a direct correlation between the rise in these little shitheads that do this stuff and less ass whippings at home, with parents trying to be their friend instead of their parent and blah, blah, blah,
Well, I think no matter
personal responsibility. I mean, everybody's a victim nowadays. And
I think no matter which side you on, you can always find some sort of data or statistical information that's going to,
back up your argument.
The thing that I don't understand is, like, I keep losing my train of thought. I'm actually upset about it now that I'm thinking about it.
Well, you got lies, damn lies, and statistics, so you can pick one that you don't like.
and I hate the fact that, like, I have all these thoughts brimming in my brain right now, but I can't make
one
sense
or two
of them.
statistics just don't tell the whole story when it comes to a complex, a human being. We're a complex set of, it's a lot of factors.
There's a lot of synapses firing in us at all times.
There's not one thing you can put your finger on. I mean, they said, well, they reported it to the FBI, and then they did. But, now the governor of Florida is calling for the director of the FBI to resign because the FBI didn't do anything. And it's like, but look, the FBI the police can't arrest you for something you might do in the future. This guy's exhibiting all the behavior, but they can't arrest you until after you commit the crime. This isn't.
It's not.
This isn't.
There's a fucking movie about that.
Works. Yeah, Judge Dredd or something like that. In
the
future,
it was fucking Tom Cruise or something.
But somewhere, something in the future.
There were premonitions that could find out.
If they found out you were thinking about committing a crime, they came and wrote you a ticket.
No, I'd spend a lot of time in jail.
Well, that being said, they can't arrest you for something that you're pretending in your mind to do. But do you think they could have put more focus or something like that on it? And the answer obviously is no, because every American in the country is bitching about taxes and this and that. So in order to pay for some branch of anywhere to cover that issue would cost more money. So of course they're doing,
330 million people in the United States, and the pool of Looney Tunes is growing every second. They just don't have the manpower to watch everybody that's mentally unsound. They just don't.
Well, there's no sense of personal responsibility anymore. It's your fault that it happened to me, or your fault that nobody will stand up and go, you know what, I dicked up.
Yeah.
Right.
And, when people won't take personal responsibility for something,
what's funny though is when we have a bomb go off, they blame the bomber. When we have a DUI, they blame the driver of the car. But we have a shootout like that, they blame the gun.
Well, it wouldn't have shot all those people if it hadn't have been for the gun.
Yeah,
the gun just jumped. They jumped off that refrigerator and just pounded out them rounds and killed that whole family.
It's funny you say that.
Itself.
It's funny you say that because the majority of my friends are fucking, conservative, Second Amendment. They're all about it. And they're all posting this. Well, I slept with a shotgun in my bed last night and didn't jump up and kill my dog or whatever.
Nobody can go off and shoot your pecker off,
right? Well, that's your toes issue, and so it is not the gun; it's the individual. And I don't know, man. There's no real clear cut thing to say about it except for after the fact. That fucking guy did it. He admitted it. They're gonna basically put him in prison, and now we got to pay for him. Yeah. When I think that we should just take him out in a public square and, hey, remember what you did to that one kid? And just be done.
Well, when I was in Saudi Arabia during Desert Storm, and I don't remember the
somber tone.
Well, it's kind of a somber story because when we were there, or when I was there, they caught a guy running drugs across the desert. And if I remember right, they caught him on Sunday. They tried him on Monday. They let him do his prayers on Tuesday. And then they invited us out to his execution, and they cut his head off the next day. The Army and the Marine Corps were required to be there.
Really?
They gave us the option, and it was like, no, I'm good. Thank you. I don't need to see this to know I'm not running any drugs around. But yeah, 4 days later, he was dead. Now, if we did that in this country...
Well, that's barbaric.
Well, the thing about...
Hey, guess what? Killing 17 kids is barbaric.
That's considered barbaric.
But, they do that sort of stuff in the Middle East. We've pulled people apart in France. With horses, we've cut people, hung people, everything.
I like how you said we.
It's still well. I mean, as human beings, we've tried everything to stop crime, and it doesn't. It just doesn't.
No, but it sure does to slow it down if that guy ain't going to reoffend.
Actually, it's not going to stop it. It's just going to make him more devious and more. And this dude was on social media talking about it. He talked about his fucking mental issues and his want and need to shoot up a fucking school on social media, which is like all the rage now. If you don't have your clicks and your likes and your followers and all that shit that I'm striving for, you bitches. But this kid was all over the fucking social networks with that shit, and they were just like, well, he doesn't seem like a credible threat, and it still ended up happening. So
safe
I think a fucking public execution might be in order.
I know,
because how about this? You get executed by lethal injection, and you're going to get more protesters about how much pain you're going to be in during that lethal injection.
What do we make
than the fact that you fucked up to get that lethal injection?
How long does the pain last when you get your head cut off?
I don't know.
To us,
a split second. A split. I mean, it's quick. It's fast.
Okay, well, it depends on the beheading, because the beheading that I'm thinking of is like a dude standing behind you, holding your hair, and just slowly sawing through your
I'm talking guillotine. Let's do it quick. Well,
so Marie Antoinette shit.
We got to comply with the 8th Amendment.
But I'm looking at what works. When I was over there, I saw 8, 10, 12-year-old little girls playing on the street at midnight. Playing outside. Nobody around.
Nobody
but I tell you
them up
what,
and raping them or nothing?
Nobody better touch them, because you die. It's as simple as that.
Well, were those particular little kids, were they part of some, terrorist sect that everybody else was like, we're not fucking with those kids? You know what I mean?
Well, I think it's just a different world over there where they don't have...
How does that work out?
They don't have political correctness. They don't have laws. They don't have a cop around every corner. They just don't have it. So over there, they just don't fuck about. They got AK-47s.
How can we have cops around every corner? I mean, that doesn't even help. Everybody's always
America does. Cops. I mean, I drove through Canada and we saw one police op, one Royal Canadian Mounted in like Whitehorse, right? 1,700 miles we go to total through Canada, but we get back in America, cross over into Montana, and the first car we see is a cop car. I'm like, welcome to America.
Okay, well, that's not
Middle East. They enforce their laws. We screw around. It's as simple as that. We
educate and pay people to find loopholes in laws that we've created.
Yeah.
That's what we do here.
Well, look at this SB 91.
I could full on know that you did what you did, but it's my responsibility as your lawyer to make sure that you get off.
Get you off.
What the fuck is that? Yeah. And then there's this whole like, well, if you admit it to me, then I am obligated by law to say something. Like, motherfucker, sitting down with anyone that's actually murdered another human being, and you don't know just by sitting down with them and their demeanor. And
I don't know. Ted Bundy was a nice guy, man. Dahmer was a nice guy.
Those are sociopaths. Am I wrong? Is that the correct definition? There's sociopaths.
Well, he's a serial killer, but probably had sociopath
Yeah, they were both
tendencies.
sociopaths.
Because a psychopath is someone that knows they're doing wrong and they don't give a fuck, right?
No,
And a
that's a
sociopath
sociopath.
is they want to blend
They
in.
won't admit it. A sociopath
But
won't
fuck
admit
you up.
anything they did wrong.
Right,
Yeah,
okay.
they-
Yeah, those are sociopaths.
Well, they also get their rocks off doing it. That excites them.
Oh, I'm a sociopath. Damn it.
Yeah.
Does that count kittens and dogs and puppies?
I think I'm just
So-
I must be a lesbian.
Not to. I mean, I don't want to make light of it, but I also don't want to get serious and make this whole fucking episode about that shit. But
That's all right,
it's
I'm a male
fucking
lesbian.
terrible. That kid obviously had some fucking issues, and the more they look into his past, the more issues they're finding.
Yep.
I guess they're saying he legally bought the guns on the news, and I'm just like, fuck.
No, it doesn't. That
How
doesn't
old is he?
change anything.
What
He's
are
like
the
17,
I
16,
don't-
17.
This is no, he was 19, I think.
Is he?
Yeah, he's 19. He wasn't even in the fucking school. He was probably going to be a second-year senior if he
didn't-
was
didn't-
actually
didn't-
enrolled.
He
Didn't
actually
they-
flipped a coin to pick that school.
They knew who he was, though. Somebody
thought
in
he
the
was
school
in
knew
the
who he
school.
was, and they tried. Well, he tried to run out with the rest of the kids, right, and kind of blend in.
That's what I read.
And people were like,
he went in and shot shit up and then escaped with his victims.
he tried to. The police kind of noticed everybody around him going, dude.
But yeah, just fucking ridiculous. And so, I mean, it's just, now it's going to be. I don't know if you guys watch the fucking news channels. I know I don't. I don't need to.
I watch a little bit.
I do a little bit of research on the internet. I honestly try to distance myself because I want to have a happy, fun, enjoyable life. But it still hits hard. It still does.
If I want to have a horror moment, like some people go to horror movies,
Watch a
I just
Saw
watch
movie.
the news, man.
Yeah.
That terrifies the shit out of me.
You know, we should start as an all positive news network.
All positive.
All positive. Everything that's funny, positive, uplifting. Look at dude saved a puppy. Blah blah blah. That's us.
That's called liberal TV, Steve. I'm sorry.
No.
Right.
No.
Happy,
No,
shiny people
liberal-
holding
no, not that
hands.
kind of stuff. It's
Oh,
just
no?
all.
Okay.
If it's positive in nature, because the regular media, if it's halfway truthful, is all negative. I mean, they're talking about all this one negative story after another. It's a bad. It's just like, damn.
Can I counterpoint
something
that
funny?
idea with how about we abolish 24-hour a fucking day news?
Oh no.
Oh, no.
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
dude,
no.
all it is a brainwashing tool, man.
Well, if you got.
Can you just pick certain hours of the day where they will report some shit instead of it's just constant
Wait
barrage
till the 5 o'clock news.
of it doesn't. It's positive. It's negative.
Then
It doesn't matter.
They tell everything that happened in the last 24 hours at 5 o'clock.
You guys remember News at 11?
Yeah.
More to follow. News at 11. No, now it's like this dude fucking smoking cigarettes all jacked up on super strong coffee, and the guy next is gonna be this guy, and it's another guy jacked up on super strong coffee
They
and
have a
smoking
lot
a
of-
cigarette. It's not even that. That would
they-
be fun. It's a bunch of fucking prissy douchebags constantly
Paid talking
putting
heads.
this fucking message in your fucking ear 24/7. It never fucking stops, and that is some bullshit.
Yeah,
But you don't watch the news.
I don't need to. That's how I know. You go to, there's a fucking network. CNN, Fox News. They're even called news channels. It's just fucking ugh. And then every they'll have a 5-minute segment about, like what you said, a puppy that was sitting in a bowl of Fruit Loops and he's so cute, little pit bull puppy. And death in a high school. Again, it just boom, 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 boom. You're barraged. Why is this country so divided? Because we have two different networks. One watches this one, watches the other. Da, 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 da.
Well, they separate us from
It's
the
not
very
even
beginning. You go in to fill out
It's not even
any
fucking free
form,
speech anymore.
any form, and there's different boxes. You want to check one for are you white, black, Pacific Islander, and on and on. I mean, they have separated us into race, religion, income level.
Yeah, I know.
Democrat, Republican. I mean, they have separated us into so many
That's a
different
good
little
point.
categories, and it works to a fucking T. It works. You
So
know?
what you're
And they come on and they pick something that if you're a conservative, they know, like, well, we'll talk about the Second Amendment, and that'll get them fired up.
Oh yeah,
I
love
or
the
if you're
Second
liberal,
Amendment. Gets
if
me
you're
so
liberal,
hard.
we'll just talk about abortion rights. We'll get them fired up, So
'Cause he loves
and it
killing
works like
babies.
a charm. And in the meantime, they're like, okay, look, we got them fired up, all right, and they get it done behind the scenes, whatever it is,
So you think that's what the census is all about?
Hard.
They just want to know where these pockets of people are, so they can control the
No,
programming.
the census is conducted because it says to do it in the Constitution. That's why.
Well, that's amazing because that's working the fuck out.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, you'd be scared to know
How many
much
people are
Google knows
filling
about
that thing out incorrectly
I don't know.
on purpose? Nobody.
I don't know.
Do you honestly. What if you are a refugee immigrant from somewhere and you're like, I'm here legally. My name is Abdul Ahmed something or other. I am a white non-Hispanic.
Yeah.
And you like, is someone checking that?
You got to figure the census people.
Fuck no,
just
they-
say 335 million plus 15%, give or
Nah.
take. I mean, they got to.
And then of course the white guys, their numbers like, 670 million minus 23%.
Well,
It's knocking us down.
How do I figure it out in my case? Because I'm American Indian, I'm Italian. One of my grandmothers or grandfathers was black, somewhere way back along the line. There's some Hawaiian in me and something else. Which one of those do I pick?
None. You pick. I'm an American.
That's what I am. I'm sorry. And and how much money I make, that comes into none of you. None of your damn business.
It's like these like illegal. So if you listen, the whole thing about Americans, if you come here legally and you assimilate and respect our laws and adopt our culture, we got no problem with you.
I think the key word there
We
too
don't
is
care.
assimilate.
Exactly. If you expect all that, we don't care where you come from or what color your skin is. It's just we got laws. Come here, respect them, and we're good. I mean, everybody, listen, even DNA results showed, and I may get some hate mail, but the Indians migrated here. Yep.
Bum, bum, bum.
It's called mitochondrial DNA. And it's funny how have the same in Mongolia over to the Alaska Native tribes on down into North and then eventually South America.
You can't
Look it
honestly
up.
believe that, like,
So everybody here is an immigrant. Everybody, even the American Indians.
okay, so who here is like super like God mongering? Anyone?
Godmonger?
Well, you
What does
know
that
I'm a
mean?
minister. So
All right, well, that was a poor choice of words.
Yeah,
So
it was.
if you believe that Adam and Eve were just put here, and that's how the whole thing started. Anyone? No.
I'm not sure what you mean by boop, put here and everything started.
Well, okay, well, just go ahead. Just roll with your story. We'll make fun of it here in a minute.
Let's try and clear up this boop here.
So if we're all of one people or religion or whatever, then why would there be like a spattering here, a spattering there, a spattering here, a spattering there, da 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 da?
Well, no, what happened was out of
I get the migration thing. Of course, people are going to move. You got to move to where resources are.
Stop.
Oh,
Let's
shit.
get a couple of things real cleared up. I'll clear up your question really fast.
Okay, go.
The Old Testament is a history of the Jewish people. Adam and Eve were the beginning of the Jewish people.
Okay.
They're not talking about the rest of us, folks.
Adam and Eve Goldsmith. Got it.
Adam and Eve were the beginning.
Goldberg.
No, you're
Sorry,
you're
Goldberg.
not catching what I'm saying.
They're diamond dealers.
As a nationality, Adam and Eve was the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of us doesn't talk about because if you go, hold on,
Adam-
hold on,
Adam owes me money from that poker game, as I'm just
Stop.
saying.
And I'm going to finish answering your question because if you go further on into the book, you'll find out one passage in there that everybody wants to argue about the sons of man met the daughters of man met the sons of God, and they married. Guess who they're talking about? The Gentiles, which is us.
Mm-hmm.
And there has been intermarrying in between the Gentiles and the Jews since just not long after Adam and Eve. Does that answer your question? And if you want me to, I'll dig it out of the
I had a
Bible.
whole other answer myself. but
Don't know if that answers my question. That actually makes shit more confusing.
They
honestly.
followed it.
Makes it
The
more
scientists did an
confusing.
experiment around the world. They took DNA from everybody in every four corners of the globe that was willing to participate. And that was a shit ton of people.
Oh, I
okay?
imagine.
A shit ton is equal to 2 fuckloads, by the way, just for so you know.
Math.
And our first job as human beings wasn't hunters, wasn't gatherers, wasn't prostitution. It was beachcombers, and they followed us out of what's now Egypt, and part of the tribe split and went on to what's now modern day India, and then on into China, and the other went split and went on what's now modern day Europe. as they settled into the Scandinavian, the northern countries from Germany on north, you're talking about a cooler climate, which caused them to cover up, which caused less pigment in your skin. That's just a scientific fact. The people closer to the equator, it gets hotter, they take more clothes off. Your skin's reaction is to produce more pigment. Your skin gets darker. That's all it is.
So
that's all it is.
It's all evolution.
Our ancestors were closer to the poles, and others were closer to the equator, and that's all it is. And then in the last 500 years, we've gotten to where we can go around the world within a few days, and it's now hours. So the mix is on, you might say.
So basically, we were just this group of people that disagreed and then wandered our own ways and then evolved in our own ways.
It shows where we split. It traced every one of us on the planet that's alive today back to 2 women that's alive today in Africa, and they were both as black as could be. Huh. So you're related. We're all related. It's scientifically proven. You can't argue with it. It's mitochondrial DNA. It's 99.999% accurate.
How many nines?
3 nines.
That's a lot of no's in German.
That's that's down to
wow.
So it's accurate. That's what happened, But now, does that make the Bible a lie or anything? No, of course not. It's. I like when science proves the Bible right. Actually, in my humble opinion, they found Sodom and Gomorrah, and there was some hot, intense heat there.
We wouldn't even know about sodomy if it wasn't for that.
Right.
Am I correct?
Exactly.
Am I correct?
That was where the word came from.
Yeah.
Sodomize.
Now it's a big thing. It's actually a moneymaker on the internet. Sodomy. Mm-hmm. No one would ever thought it, right?
I don't follow that line of thought.
For an extra $5, we'll throw in some choking. All right?
Right. We'll choke you while we're raping your asshole with my friend.
Right.
So
you will. You'll never make noise farting again. We promise. That's like that movie where that guy got that red ball in his mouth. What was that?
It's a ball gag.
It's a Quentin Tarantino movie. It's fucking
Pulp
hilarious.
Fiction, dude.
There you go. It's a classic. Yeah, at the end, he's got.
Ving Rhames had the fucking ball gag.
Yeah.
He was getting.
Yeah, it's like the last thing you expect to happen. It's like, what the?
He was getting fucking
anally gang raped by a cactus.
Not even gang raped. It's like this weird shop owner brought him to his basement. So his gimp brother, and gimp means dude in a leather suit with a zipper mouth over it so you can breathe eventually. And he just ass raped this character
with like a baseball bat wrapped in barbed wire or something. I don't know.
That wasn't Pulp Fiction. That was a prison movie.
Oh,
have you ever seen American Me?
Cell Block D.
American Me.
American Me on Cell Block D.
Some fucked up shit in there. Edward James Olmos did this fucking prison movie.
Training Day or some shit.
They raped this motherfucker in prison with his knife with barbed edges on it.
Essay, you got your shit pushed in, Essay?
No, he got his shit ripped out.
Damn.
Yeah, intestines first.
Mike, you look like you don't watch these type of movies.
I have no clue what you're talking about. I just let you guys go.
I feel.
I'm over here just listening to my John Deere album, or John. What's
Deere?
that?
John Denver?
John Denver. There you go.
I got my earbud in here. I'm just kind of jamming on some tunes here.
America, where at least I know I'm free. So yeah, I mean, we went super political and all that. So I guess that was, for Breakface, that's a palate cleanser.
Sorry.
Anyway,
okay.
What else has been going on? Fuck.
Oh, plenty.
Anything fun?
The Olympics.
We need fun now.
The
that was
Olympics
fucking
are
terrible.
going on.
Yeah, let's talk about
shit. I don't know. Fuck. Did we?
Happy fun.
Did we win a fucking Olympic medal or what?
We've got some golds, and a couple of them are in my favorite fucking category, snowboarding. We got
Sean White.
Sean White, that half pipe performance.
Dude,
we got that. We got.
He was like apologizing for some shit. I don't know what the fuck.
I didn't catch that because he.
I don't know.
Oh, it was Red. The guy that won, 17 years old, American. I think he's from Utah or Colorado.
Is he the one like forgot his coat and he was all fucking blah, 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 and then he just goes in and wins a medal?
I don't know. I'm not fact checking anything because I don't do that. But yeah, he was slope style, won a gold medal. He dropped an F-bomb live interview.
Yep, that's the same kid.
That's Red.
Yeah, he woke up late, forgot his coat. Yeah,
it's cold or whatever he said. It was like, funny to me, but
I roasted a bowl essay with some Korean dudes, man, and then I won a medal or something. Fuck, I don't know.
No, that was good shit though. But Sean White,
I don't follow the Olympics. So.
You didn't follow? I mean, that's the only thing I even.
Sean's
consider
like
watching
old now.
TV.
He's old by
31.
Olympics. Yeah, he's like
31
an old
years
man
old
by Olympic standards, right? Dude,
by
Sean,
anyone's standards nowadays, because
Yeah.
you know, if you're over 25, you're fucking worthless. So-
yeah, I know.
But yeah,
That
he
mean-
won.
That means I'm almost dead, right?
Right.
Yeah.
He won his third gold medal
Don't-
at 31 years old,
Don't fart too hard, you'll turn into dust.
or you'll just poop dust,
Poop dust.
or you'll become poop dust. And then red. God dang it! Hold on, I'm looking it up. Red Olympics. I'll just look that up
Red Olympically
because I don't remember his last name.
challenged. I thought there was a female
Red stripe.
skier or something.
Red
that-
Gerard. Yeah. So yeah, two of the gold medalists in the Olympics were 17 years old. I just want to throw that out there.
That's freaking awesome. And they've been
the
training
male
their
and
whole
female
life.
in the slope style fucking snowboarding.
Isn't that where you just fall down a snowy hill?
No, sir. You slide down gracefully on one edge or another, and then you jump onto rails and things like that. And you
fast as
do
possible.
crazy jumps, and it looks like you're trying to chase a possum out of your asshole, but all you're doing is spinning in the air.
Sometimes they have four guys in a tight suit.
And then you
got
gotta land because said possum in your asshole is coming for you.
You know,
That's
you can see the
snowboarding.
same thing
Yeah.
watching an old guy fall down some icy stairs, and there's no Olympic medals or none of that, or no TV cameras. And it's the same thing.
Alaskans just sit back and go.
That's why you need
9.5.
Yeah.
That's why you need a camera on you at all times.
We don't really
yeah.
we don't really laugh when somebody falls down the ice up here because we know it's going to happen to us at some time, sooner or later.
Exactly.
But you do give it a grade like an Olympic judge, right? That was about an 8.
Oh, he could have done that with better style.
Her ankles were above her head. That was a full blown 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's done that before.
That's
We're gonna give her I'll give her a
Yeah.
7.5 on
Yeah,
that. She's always got her ankles above her head.
Man, you get a 10 if you land actually full on your face. That's a good one.
it does take some neck snapping. Yeah, the funkier the position we can catch you in on film, the better.
I would personally like to avoid the 10s because pretty. So
Some of that's
That's a matter of opinion.
yeah, and your opinion doesn't matter.
mind over matter. Okay, well, what else has been going on in the world today? We're
Not a
we're still
whole
overcrowded.
lot.
We're
Yeah,
still
we're-
polluting. We're still
Yep.
climate change.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Yup.
We're still cold as fuck in Alaska. When the
It's actually
frick's it
warm
gonna
right
warm
now.
up?
I don't
Is
know
it
what-
warming up?
It's 20 fucking degrees, baby.
Does that warm?
Woot woot.
I'm waiting on.
I'm at this turning point in my life where I'm like, do I plug my truck in or do I leave it unplugged? I'm living on the edge.
Choices. God.
Living on the edge.
God Almighty.
Fuck, what do I do?
Park it in the garage.
You know as well as I do that I don't get to park my stuff in the garage. I will turn the camera around if I have to. That's not
Ta-da.
my vehicle in the garage. The wife gets the garage. I get a carport though.
The boss says, "To the port with you."
I get a little roof though, so that's nice. I don't have to shovel my car off every fucking morning.
Good. That's a safety thing too. See.
I don't shovel my truck off every morning either. It sits out in the snow.
Who shovels it off for you?
Nobody. It
doesn't
don't run.
It doesn't
It
get
doesn't
moved
move.
that often.
It don't run.
I use my wife's car to come to this stupid ass show.
Yeah. He drives a Ford.
Why clean the snow off? Hers is sitting in the garage, nice and warm and shit. I'll just
Toasty.
get in it, fire it up, and leave. Versus crawling into that frozen up truck. No.
I know it's a cold day.
And it's her gas that she's buying.
He showed up at a
bonus.
meeting one time in that Ford, and it didn't have any brakes and no heater, and he was about frozen. He was just like, "Oh yeah, whatever. Let's just go home. Let's get in the heat."
It's got heat now.
He had driven all the way from Wasilla in the dead of winter, and we were having a meeting. And
Yeah.
it was.
And that brake job,
He
that
was
brake
blue.
job,
He was blue.
that brake job cost me $30,000. So I don't even want to talk about that brake job.
So when you showed up to this meeting, you just left your truck running. They're like, "Oh, you could start it later." You're like, "Nope, it ain't gonna be warm then. It ain't gonna be warm now." That kind of thing.
I don't. It's a 72, man. It'll fire up no matter what the temperature is.
I know it's cold when I get into my truck. I sit down and I auto start it.
Walk,
then I-
walk past the window with my key.
Yeah.
Oh damn, that was tough.
And then I get in it, and the only reason I know that it's cold is because my steering wheel is warm and my ass is hot.
That's right.
It's like,
That's
ooh,
right.
it must be below 40.
That's some of the best features about a truck is the heated steering wheel, the heated seats, the
Oh,
heated
fuck.
mirrors. I mean, it's just it's the Alaska package.
You guys ain't been in some good cold weather yet. That's the problem.
Oh, that's
Oh.
not true, sir.
Sir.
That is not true, sir. You
Now,
try
see-
to start a fucking cold diesel on the slope, and it's your only source of transportation. You have like a fucking light.
Ether.
You have a light to heat things and see at the same time. Yeah, you just light shit on fire and wait for it to start. I've been in some cool shit.
Just build a small fire underneath the oil pan, and there you go.
It's a small one.
Wait a little while.
Charcoal briquettes were good. Done it a million times.
When your truck explodes, it's ready to go. It's warm now.
Tricks of the trade in Alaska, right?
I was coming back from Fairbanks about, 15 years ago or so, and stopped in Cantwell and went in, got a cup of coffee, da-da-da-da-da. It was about 65 below out. Went and got a cup of coffee, wind's blowing like hell, walked back out, and the guy was standing there next to his truck. I said, what's wrong? His truck had froze up when it was running.
Damn.
It was running and froze up.
Was it fuel or diesel?
It was gas. He was sitting there.
Gas
freaking
probably
out.
broke because the gas wasn't moving fast enough, so it probably froze.
No, the engine was running, and it froze up, and it was starting to overheat.
No, that's what I'm saying, though. I mean, even with it running, the gas is still cold.
So the radiator froze up on him running. And I was like, well, how much antifreeze you got in there? And he goes, it's 50-50. I can't get no better. Because it's only good down to 50 below, though.
So just 100% that shit.
They had an accident with a big
got hosed.
aircraft where they clipped the wing, the fuselage, and the jet fuel caught on fire, but immediately went back out because it was negative 55. I think this was up in Isle Center, where
Damn.
Even jet fuel won't light on fire at that cold, I guess, or burn.
Well, I know
for very long, especially when there's a lot of Jack Frost in the air, when the ice crystals are so thick and close to the ground, and Well, I
know for a fact when I was working up on the slope and shit like that, when certain storms would hit, like up there, your vehicles they run on diesel, so you just leave them running. You plug them in and leave them running, and it just smells like diesel no matter where you go. But I remember, one night going to sleep and everybody's vehicles are running. You wake up the next morning and 2 or 3 are dead. And they're full of snow because the snow blows and it's finer than grains of sand.
Somebody left their window open and fill the cab.
It will go in there and there's a snowdrift inside the cab of your truck, which is frozen to death, won't start. Yeah. I mean...
Yeah. And some mechanic is loving you.
Oh, he's loving you with a bar of soap and a sock at 3 a.m.
One time in Texas, I just bought this new truck. It was new to me, and it had a sunroof that you pop open in the back, like 3 inches.
Oh, like a little vent.
Yeah. And I accidentally left it open, and we had a Class 2 little tornado. It was a tornado alley in Stephenville, Texas. And
what's a Class 2 tornado? What kind of winds are you looking at there?
I don't know, 100, 190, 90.
You're going to make me do Google research again.
I think anything over 90 would be Class 2. Anyway, it didn't rip up a lot of buildings. It just did threw trash everywhere, knocked a few limbs off, a lot of rain, a lot of sideways rain. Anyway, I came out the next day and shit was everywhere, and I'm approaching the truck and I see I've left the sunroof open, and I'm like, crap. And I open the door and a little water comes out, and I put the key in the ignition and everything was dead. So I just left the doors open, and in that Texas heat, everything came back one by one by one by one. And the last thing to start working was the clock. There's a digital clock, and eventually about a month later it started working again. But it was a tough truck, the brain to that thing was under the seat, I think. And anyway, it was a tough truck. It survived a freaking full of water and
oh my god,
level 2 hurricane or tornado.
I always get a kick out of it. Up here we get high winds. Other places they call them hurricanes. Up here it's just high winds.
Right?
Yeah. It's a disaster. Everywhere else, an 8.5 earthquake. Everybody's going. Alaska's like,
huh?
Next day we're driving to work.
I didn't wake up. He said something about stirring his coffee when it comes to earthquakes.
Yeah, you stir my coffee. Shit, it ain't nothing. And don't mix my coffee up. It ain't worth talking about.
I could tell it was a big one, but I just didn't know. I was waiting for it to really,
Are you the Ford guy? We were just talking about vehicles, right? Are you the Ford guy or are you the Ford guy?
Well, I'm the one that drives Ford.
Mike's the Ford guy.
My level of commitment is...
Steve, he's got a fucking tattoo on his forearm of a Chevy symbol. So.
Boom.
I remember...
I could tell you why he's got that there, but he wouldn't appreciate it.
He lost a bet. So when I was younger, I commercial fished, and one of the guys we used to travel the beach with, actually he was one of the claim owners, he had a Ford. It was an old 79 silver with like a red two-tone stripe thing going on. So I thought it was one of the coolest things I ever saw. And he decided one day we were fighting the tide. Tide's coming in, and we're trying to make it 22 miles down the beach in
not gonna happen.
North Beach in Kenai. Oh, it happened eventually. eventually.
When
The tide got it and pushed it down.
But he
after the tow truck came,
right, he thought that like, so we're I'm in one truck and actually we're caravanning in the 3 vehicles high, so we're trying to go in the dry sand, and he's like tempting fate, and he's like, mud bogging, yeah, I'm having fun. Fucking sunk his truck, and it was like, oh shit. So we go out there, and I remember I'm like 13 years old. My job was to find rocks on a silty beach in Kenai. If you guys have ever seen a silty beach in Kenai, finding rocks is super easy. So I am running all the way up the beach, grabbing a rock at 13, which is, it's about that big. About as big as a fucking dessert plate, and running them back down so they could put the jacks on them. They were trying to make a base for the jack to jack this fucking truck out. And it was terrible. We just slowly watched this poor Ford just die a slow and miserable ocean death. So tide comes in, we go to our camp, we come back the next day to assess the damage. There's the truck, it's there, we can see it. We eventually get it out. Guess what? Chris is running up and down the beach finding more plate-sized fucking rocks. We finally get it out. Everybody's like, oh, this thing's fucked, it's done. No, it ain't gonna. They didn't even do anything to it. They pulled it out of the water, let it dry out for 3 days, threw some fucking new gas in it, and it fucking started. I'm not even kidding. It was a rough start. And there was some black smoke, but that fucker started and ran, and I learned how to drive a stick on it.
The older ones
I'm just
had
kidding. It was a 79 International. That Ford died later. But
the older
no,
ones had
it
far
was
less.
amazing.
They had far less electronics. Now you have
there's no
23 computers on today's car. And it's
only 23.
Probably more.
My truck's got one computer, the one behind the wheel.
Have you guys seen a movie called Maximum Overdrive?
Nope.
I think I have.
Overdrive.
Is that the one with the?
Do you guys do anything other than watch movies all day?
It's
you guys got jobs? Do you
it's
work
part
anywhere?
of the American culture. It's
It
part of
makes no sense.
It's like some of this stuff is classic, like
It's a
American Graffiti, man. You got to watch that. That's
So it was a Stephen
Never mind,
King novel that they adapted into a movie.
it's about racing. Fords always lose. So
It wasn't about racing.
no, he's talking about. We're talking about a different movie now.
Oh.
Maximum Overdrive,
So Maximum Overdrive.
where the machines are possessed.
Yes, sort of. So, yes, but you're right. So Stephen King wrote a book about a
Christine?
comet.
It's got ACDC.
Stephen King.
Christine.
Yes. Yay! You know popular culture. Holy
That
fuck.
was made 20 years ago, 30
So was
years
Maximum
ago.
Overdrive.
Well, I was in the military and gone fighting a war, but about that time.
War.
Yeah.
We did that part of the show.
Yeah.
No, Maximum Overdrive. He wrote it was about a comet that's going
It's-
past Earth, and we pass through its tail.
Emilio Estevez.
Emilio Estevez.
Never heard of
I had chicks convinced that I was his cousin when I was a kid. Got me laid. Anyway. So being in the trail of this comet apparently makes electronics come to life.
Yes.
So your car starts driving around.
Your
fucking-
toaster is
your
trying
lawnmower.
to
Yeah.
burn your ass.
Soda machines are shooting fucking soda cans at your genitals while you're trying to fucking get a soda.
Yeah.
That's what this movie was about.
18-wheelers chasing your ass down.
And I got to thinking about it 2 nights ago. I was like, because I actually watched it again. I love that movie.
What if that
And I
happened?
went, wait a minute. That movie being remade would make so much fucking sense now. Because our cars are computer driven.
It had killer music.
Killer music too. It would probably, they'd kill the soundtrack, I'm sure.
Bastards.
But we have cars that drive themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we
They
have cars
park-
that park for you.
park
We have cars that will
themselves.
swerve out of danger for you, which I haven't actually had the privilege of driving one of those yet. And I think that would freak me the fuck out if I was drifting into another lane and my car just jerked me back into my lane.
They're going to take control over from us, and in the name of safety.
But I'm saying it right here first. You've heard it on Breakface. All maybe 4 or 6 of you that are going to see this. But I think they should do a remake of that movie because it makes fucking sense right now. You've got robotic fucking vacuum cleaners, robotic
happen.
lawnmowers. You've got drones in the sky. Can you imagine if they redid this movie? Comet tail takes over and all of our electronics try to fucking kill us, but it's not Terminator. Because everything's Terminator. AI takes over. So when the comet tail goes away, everything goes back to normal and we're left with the aftermath. It would be so fucking epic. And they should do it
the
again.
toaster versus the blender. Yeah. Right?
Let's get it on.
maybe
What are they going to
maybe-
fuck and make a toaster blender that
Maybe in a helicopter.
grind your
versus
guts
a
out and
tank.
cooks them at the same time?
Grind
It's
your
like the
guts
new
out.
Instant Pot. Can you imagine if your Instant Pot tried to kill you?
Ooh,
Anyone?
that would suck.
Mike, you're looking at me like you don't know what an Instant Pot is, and that's
No,
really,
I don't,
It's
but
really
that's
making
okay.
me sad. It's
We're
a super
out of beer.
duper.
I'm dripping out. How about
No, I'm out of beer too.
I'm gonna grab us a beer. Taking one for the team.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think I'm going to start writing a fucking screenplay for this because it is so prevalent right now. We always take these movies that back in the day were like groundbreaking. Groundbreaking. And then
Have another beer.
Yeah. I think the show's over. just throw that out there politely. But it makes so much fucking sense for that Stephen King story to actually come back again and get some justice. Like The Dark Tower.
I remember a movie called Chitty Chitty Bang Bang that's the same thing. So why don't we go all the way back to that?
Well,
era?
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang didn't try to chitty chitty bang bang your asshole.
Well,
it was just trying to, hey, I'm fucking flubber. I'm gonna run you around. No, these things are trying to
flying
fuck you
car.
into oblivion,
I
man.
mean, it was Back to the Future before Back to the Future was Back to the Future.
We need modern stuff. It's like, hey, I'm the curling iron. I'm going to put 3rd-degree burns on your colon.
So you want
That's
Stephen
entertainment.
King, if Stephen King and Robert Zemeckis had a baby, I'm gonna do it. They fucked and had a baby. We would have.
And then Spielberg produced it.
Oh shit! Then we would have killer vehicles that could fly while fucking you in the ass with a hot iron. Discuss.
And you expect me to say something to that?
His catalytic converter is plugged up, folks. That's all she wrote.
I don't know who half the people are he was talking about, so I can't address the
No
conversation.
exit to this exhaust system at all.
But it happened in the past.
Still don't know who we're talking about.
Man, you need to
Pop
watch movies.
culture.
Oh,
Mike. Brush up
see, I
on
work
it.
for a living,
Brush up
so,
on it.
you know.
Can you listen to movies?
Listen to 'em.
You say you listen to this fucking podcast while you're doing your woodwork. Listen to a movie.
Yeah, I listen to all kinds of stuff while I'm doing
can
podcasts.
get the
But movies,
gist.
movies just don't turn me on, man. I get bored with movies. I really do.
You need to watch porn.
No, I don't need to watch porn.
That'll turn you on.
No, if I need to look at a naked woman, I'll have my wife strip down. And if I need to look at a naked guy, I'll strip down, and that'll scare the shit out of both of us.
You can always tell the porn watchers because they got that Popeye arm, you know. I'll just.
I don't know what you're talking about.
He's like, well,
Let me pull my sleeve up.
Well, okay, I don't watch that much porn,
I used
obviously.
to- I remember when I was growing up, this little muscle, I don't know what it's called, but it's like in the crook of your elbow where your forearm and your humerus meet. It was called the jerk off muscle. That's what like, all the kids used to joke about. Like, if you had this big muscle right here, and I know for people listening aren't going to see it, and fuck you. You should watch YouTube. But this like muscle, it was called the jerk off muscle. And my right one was always bigger than my left one. I think they might have been right. Plus, I have a huge bicep, and my dick is really raw. So, yeah, they're onto something.
It's a sore dick. You can't beat it. What can you say?
Must have slammed it in the door.
Can't fucking beat it.
We all went through it, you know. It's if ladies, if you only knew how rough it is on a teenage boy, is good Lord.
Okay, don't try to open a beer bottle with a pop top on a plastic rim table.
Hey, it's a screw off.
Yeah, it is.
Nuh-uh.
It's a twist off.
Twist off. Yeah, boom.
fuck
Look
me.
at that.
You've had way too much drink. You can't figure out how to get the top off.
Titty pushes on the pool door. You know, you've all seen it. People do it, but sometimes, you know.
Don't judge me. You're watching this.
You've
Yeah,
all pushed when you should have pulled.
I watched two women spend half an hour one night trying to open a bottle of wine. It was hysterical, and they're down on the floor with this, this cork corkscrew trying to get the. And finally, after half an hour, I looked at them. I said, "You guys do realize that's got a screw top on it, don't you?"
Damn.
That's a classy bottle of wine. One. And two, awesome. Good job. How long did you watch it before you pointed
Half
it
an
out?
hour, man. It was hysterical. I was
Damn.
laughing my butt off. Yeah, I can get this. No, you can't. And one of them's got the bottle. One's got the corkscrew. And half the time they weren't hitting. It was hysterical. You'd had to see. I wish I'd have had a video to video that. It would have
Get the
been millions
box of
views
wine
on
next
YouTube.
time where you just stick the straw in it.
Yeah, fuck a straw. You just
Yeah.
lay on the floor all.
It's for
I just
serious
take my knife and
serious alcoholics. They give you that big fat straw that you get like in,
like a smoothie straw.
yeah.
Turbo
Well, they can
straw.
fit-
That's what they call it at the bar.
Chunks of
Right.
fruit up, can go up the straw. Yeah.
no, if you're a serious drinker, you do it. You do the tea towel drinking. You know what a tea towel drinker does?
Nope.
It's
They take a tea towel and they tuck it into their shirt and they set the bottle on the tea towel and they just lift it up and lean back.
The fuck is a tea towel first?
Hand towel.
Okay, and second,
I was-
let's do that.
I was kind of picturing one of them hats where they have 2 drinks, 2 beers, and you're sucking it in.
Oh, the fucking beer helmet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you could just get buck-ass wild and go with the beer enema or a
No.
com.
I want to taste it, man.
Yeah. I'll tell you what.
Oh, you'll
you're
taste it.
Instantly drunk.
Taste it.
Instantly. Oh, my God.
All right.
Go ahead and say it what you're thinking. Might as well. I mean, this late in the podcast, no one's watching.
I was
Okay.
just thinking I have to pee and fucking break face.
Let it out.
Go on ahead. There's plenty of room on the floor.
No.
We'll move our feet.
I did that in math class one time. Peed on the floor, and just felt bad. The math teacher was a World War II veteran, but I was like 13 and didn't give a fuck and didn't really understand or know. And anyway, I was the class clown or whatever. And yeah, I wore shorts that day and just kind of pulled them to the side and hosed down the floor in front of my desk, which was kind of stupid because shortly thereafter, after the class started to stink, and they rapidly figured out who did it because
obviously you.
at my desk.
Piss pants.
I wasn't the smartest student in the world, trust me. But that was one that I did get caught at. So yeah, and he gave very hard licks. The man could swing a paddle, folks. Let me tell you, I saw stars.
Oh my God! They didn't put you in timeout.
Well, the fact that you just said I was wearing shorts and just had the inclination to piss on the floor, and my teacher gave me hard licks.
kind of sounds like
Kinda-
in modern day it could be like a porn, maybe. I don't know.
So-
There was ass whipping and licking and peeing and stuff.
My French teacher, he had like piss fetish. He lick penis. I'm Russian now. Sorry, my Russian teacher have piece fetish. He lick cock while Peter shot.
I tell you what, if they'd have used timeout when I was a kid, I'd have just been thinking about the next thing I was going to do and plot, and that's all I'd have been
just
doing.
give us
He
just
just
enough
gave me some
time to
piece of
plan the next.
Yeah, man. Oh shit, here we go.
I want you to sit in the corner and think about what you did.
No,
But
I'm
only
thinking
do
about
it
what I'm
better.
gonna do tomorrow.
Take that, you bitches.
They did do that too. I mean, you had after school detention, and then when that didn't work, they gave us before school detention, and when that didn't work, they was busting our ass.
Oh,
and they
in
just
school
didn't-
suspension. Don't forget about that.
We had all of it
Before,
yeah.
after, during.
I had before and after and got licks. So I remember we had 7 classes, and I remember I went to the principal's office in first, third, and then 5th period. And in 5th period, the principal told me, if you come back again today, you're fucked, dude. I'm gonna light you up. So 6th period, I'm
Sitting on
7th
his hands.
period.
He's sitting on his hands.
yeah, 7th period. 7th period was art class, and we had some wild motherfuckers like me, and they started throwing clay. They threw the clay, Mr. O'Shea, not me. But who gets to go to the principal's office? Me.
That was for tomorrow's offense.
Fucking lit me up. Woo! And I got 2 days suspension. So, yeah. Anyway, that was the 4th time I got my ass busted in one day.
And he didn't get his project done. Damn.
Damn it.
I got kicked out of school once a year, faithfully.
yeah.
Faithfully, every year I got
Oh,
kicked out
the
of school once a year.
shit
I
we
could-
used to do.
For what? Well, like, what kind of shit did you do?
Well, you see, me and my buddy wanted to go hunting, and they wouldn't let us out of school to go hunting. So what we'd do is we'd get in a fist fight in the hallway. All right,
I've done that.
we get in a fist fight in the hallway. Yeah, it was worth a black eye. Okay. So, we'd both get drug in. Who started it? We'd both say to the other guy, well, we're going to kick you out for 3 days. Well, on the way out of the office, we'd take a swing at each other again, and they'd make it a week. We got a week to go hunting, guys. Let's go. Because they'd fail you if you missed a week of school.
The problem with that plan I was a very small school, and there was only like 75 people. So if you got kicked out of school, the whole town knew within minutes, including your dad, who was a federal agent. And when he found out, you didn't exactly get to have a lot of fun while you were out of school.
But see, my dad was eating that moose too.
He went up there. I think my dad went up there and made sure I had my homework, and which I got to sit on my bed and do, But Of course, we'd sneak out at night and go steal some gas or somebody's car and go to other towns and get in car wrecks and fuck their daughters. And God, that's shit we used to do. Jesus.
It's a good thing your dad was a federal agent, kept you out of jail.
A few times. A few times.
So my family, you did something wrong, they'd drag you into jail. My brother stole a car when he was 11, and my mom drug him into the cops and turned him in and insisted they charge him. She wouldn't leave until they did.
We may or may not have borrowed this Audi at one point, and
it's past the statute of limitations over. Steve.
Coming back, there was a town called El Dorado, which was 21 miles from our hometown called Sonora. 21 miles. We made it in like 11 minutes. That's 130 miles an hour.
Yeah,
average.
You're cooking.
And I was driving. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm 15 years old, drunk, high, stoned. Everybody else is asleep. I'm talking. It's a recipe for
disaster.
Yeah. Oh, it's the kind that's But we made it, and but. Again, the stuff we done, it's a wonder we're alive. I mean, Jesus Christ.
He was looking out for you. That's the only reason why you're still alive.
Oh, stuff we stand on the hood of a speeding Oldsmobile, doing a crosshatch with the flag, and you're standing up. I mean, well, it's driving down the road.
Did you have your safe, happy place?
No, we didn't. There was no
you
such
actually
thing.
survived. When I was growing up, we didn't even use seatbelts. You know what seatbelts were used for? Chain the dog down. You hook the dog to the seat belts because that'd keep him from jumping out of the car.
That or keeping the groceries from falling out of the back seat.
Keeping the groceries. We're in the back window, flipping off the people behind us, and throwing at crap across the car, and a pickup truck. Oh, that was just you could play soccer in the back of a pickup truck.
You guys remember rumble seats? I think we talked about that on a show. Yeah, we'll face you backwards so you can't see your imminent death coming. Right.
Well, you got a little privacy back there, see, and you can watch what's coming, and you can stop doing whatever you're doing before they get to where they're close enough to see what you're doing.
That would be nice to see what's going to happen before you get rear-ended.
Well,
we had to take this trip one time where I had to get the movie. I was a projectionist at the movie back when movies were a big deal, and it didn't come in on the bus station, so we had to take a little road trip to a neighboring town. And we had this kegger the night before, and it was still in the back of my truck. And me and a couple of buddies, I've got the keg. We're all a bunch of alcoholics, so when we were hopping the truck, in those days, it was mostly just single cab trucks, and it had the big thing was to have a sliding glass. So anyway, the middle guy, Danny, he jumps in the back and starts pumping away on that keg and hands everybody a drink, and and he starts to climb back in. And he thinks, well, fuck that. So he's out. Well, not to be outdone, the other guy in the passengers, he's got to climb out there with him. Well, it isn't long. They start tussling about. I mean, we're doing 70 mile an hour down the freeway back when the speed limit was 55, so it's a big deal.
Ooh, rebels. We're on rebels all through and through.
We're on Interstate 10, mind you, not saying like this is a backcountry road. And they're back there in the back, play fighting, slugging it out, pouring beer down each other's throats. I want to get into it, so I slide all the way over to the passenger seat, stick my left leg, my big toe and my little toe is holding the steering wheel. And I got on cruise control. I'm facing forward in the passenger seat at 70, and they're fighting in the back.
You're driving with your foot.
Yeah. I got my left leg like this while I'm facing forward.
If you're listening, he actually demonstrated his foot sticking out there.
Anyway, it was... So this is the day before cell phones, where...
Just a day?
But, like 1984, So it was a lot... It was a lot of fun. We had truckers that were honk, and people going,
I remember that's epic. I've never had anything like that.
The shit we did. That was just Tuesday for us.
Jesus
I mean, we didn't give a fuck.
But remember when it was cool to take the bench seat of any vehicle and put it backwards in the back of a truck, and then go rallying said truck through any kind of dirt pit anywhere, and see how long your friends could hold on. I remember I went. You know what geo trackers were? They're like one of the first SUVs.
Disposable little.
Just these little tiny. Well, I remember we went to a dirt pit with a friend of mine. It was 4 of us. Him driving. I was in the back seat. My friend in the front. Another friend in the back. We go up this hill, and it's steep. And he's like, "Oh fuck! How am I going to get back down?" So he starts to back down and turn. So he starts turning until the driver's side is facing downhill.
Tumble.
And it was like, we felt it. It actually had an inclinometer in it, so it could tell you like where you were at as far as tipping over.
Maxed out.
This is the fucked point right here.
Yeah, and it's like we're sideways on this hill, and that fucking thing, we feel it. We all feel it. Yeah. The fucking wheels come off, and it was like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. So we all sit super still. And he's like, Josh, that's my friend that was in the front seat. He's like, Josh, dude, you've got to hang out the window to keep the weight balanced.
Balance it.
So my friend Josh is like, okay, good dude, but he hangs himself out the fucking window
If it would have went over, he would have been squashed.
to hold this truck down,
him.
and he's like, no, man, that's not working, because he tried to back up a little bit more, and it got even worse. And of course, guess who's behind Josh? Me. So what do? Me and you, bro. So I hang out the fucking window with them, and we are just both of us literally like, if this thing goes, we're just gonna let go.
Trying to provide some counterweight to the.
Yeah, we're trying to provide counterweight for this thing. So we're both hanging outside the window. We got one hand in there. I'm not gonna lie, and he may discount this later, but I'm pretty sure we were fucking holding hands, bro style, sitting there holding on. It was like, in my mind, I was like, if this thing starts to fucking tip, I'm just letting go. And just hope for the best. I may fall backwards, break my neck, but yeah. And eventually, yeah, he eked it back around, and then we went down forward. We get to the bottom. We're all kissing the ground, like, oh my god, I can't believe we fucking survived. And I like was all, why did you just back down the fucking hill, man? What the fuck is wrong with you? Batman does not approve.
The stuff we did. I mean, this is just stupid stuff.
Just dumb shit, and I love it. I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't change it. I mean, there's a couple things I would have changed. Like that one girl and the gonorrhea. I would have changed that. But everything else, yeah, I would have kept it the same.
Yeah. Well, there was that trip to Mexico that one time.
I blew up an outhouse, so what can I say?
Bienvenidos.
You got a rebellious story you want to share real quick?
No, it wasn't rebellious.
Come on, man.
You just threw
Let's
an
close
M80.
it. Close it with a Mike story.
Threw an M80 down on a shit pile and boom.
Well, no, we didn't have any money. It was 4th of July. Everybody's lighting off fireworks, so I got a hold of some black powder and I started making fireworks and lighting them off. Kept making bigger ones, and finally I went, you know what? I'm getting tired of this shit. And we had a stump out there that we needed to get out.
What does every good fireworks story start with a stump?
Hold my beer.
That's the other part of the story. Hold my beer. I was 14. There wasn't no beer involved. But anyway, I had 5 pounds black powder.
It was moonshine.
I packed it down real good. Went in there, made a fuse for it, took it out, stuck it underneath the stump, and walked back, I don't know, a little ways, and I went, this isn't far enough. So I went backed up some more, and this ain't far. So finally I walked all the way around the front of the house and lit the fuse.
About how far do you think that was?
80 feet. I was behind the house at this point.
Yeah, so 80 feet's a good distance if you're just going to light off a homemade explosive.
Yeah, but
so you were definitely cautious about this thing.
I knew it was going to go bang.
And he hid behind a house.
Yeah.
Well, it was 5 pounds, so that's a lot of powder, depending on the type of powder, mind you.
I'm not. It was gunpowder. I don't know if it was black powder, gunpowder, what it was, but it was powder.
It was going to blow up regardless.
It was going to go boom. It blows the stump. I can see the stump from behind the house.
Oh shit!
It goes through the air, and I went, "Oh wow, that's cool. I ain't gonna dig that one out."
As the water heater goes flying by.
So anyway, no, we had an outhouse. We didn't need a water heater. You ain't got water.
So when you blew up the outhouse, did you get any political promises on you?
Just hang on a minute. Let me finish. Let me finish telling this story.
Nicely done, sir.
Yeah. So anyway, I walked around. Well, of course, it's gone. Well, what I hadn't realized is that the outhouse, because there was a bank that came down where the stump was at. Well, the outhouse was on the outer side of that bank. It's gone. The only thing that's there is the toilet seat. And no, it couldn't have been 4th of July.
Couldn't have been.
No, because it was dark out. Mom and Dad got back home about 6 o'clock at night. 4th of July, it's not dark at 6.
That's true.
And I can't remember. It was one of the holidays. But anyway, I go in the house. I'm going, oh shit. Mom and Dad are going to be home in a little bit.
No, there's no shit.
Yeah.
Because the outhouse is gone.
It's starting to get dark.
Over there.
So anyway, it's starting to get dark out. So I dodge back in the house, and I'm sitting there reading the book. Mom comes in. Dad comes in. Mom says, I got to go use the outhouse. Well, by now it's pitch black. You can't see anything.
Oops.
I never said a word. She goes out the door, comes back a few minutes later. She sits down. She goes, outhouse is awful breezy tonight.
What
outhouse? Really? I'm just like, oh, really?
Playing dumb.
I played big time dumb. So we eat dinner. Dad goes out. He comes back, and he goes, hey, I noticed the door was was hanging wide open on the outhouse. I couldn't find it. It's not. I don't understand that. Usually it latches pretty good. Really, my dad looks at me stone cold faced. He goes, that outhouse is getting full. I think you need to empty it out. And I went, oh, you mean dig another one? He goes, no. Move the building, dig it out, empty it out.
Put the building back.
And put the building back.
Ah, fuck.
Shitty job.
Yeah.
I asked my mom and dad about it years later, and they said, we weren't absolutely certain what had happened, but we knew one thing was for certain. An outhouse needed to get emptied out and let the punishment fit the crime.
Mm-hmm.
So unlike you guys that got away with the shit you did,
Most of it.
I blew up
Most
an
of it,
outhouse, and yeah, it was not.
Man.
My gunpowder story is we had stolen these two kinds, borrowed. Sorry, and there were these
Borrowed without permission.
There were these leftover, the cone firecracker.
I don't know. Just keep doing this when you
exploding.
say cone. You're just
Right,
jerking off the
yeah.
air right now.
So we had this slow burning powder that we didn't realize was, we lit it off. We had made these little fuses from toilet paper infused with gunpowder, and it kind of,
I didn't bore everybody with the details. Come on,
it just kind of, and that was the slow burning powder, both gunpowder. But then unbeknownst to us, this was pistol powder. It was a fast burning powder.
Say pistol powder one more time.
Pistol powder. So I snuck up there and I lit the homemade fuse, and it didn't go. And after a minute, anyway, I thought, well, I'm going to just throw the match inside the little tower.
That sounds extremely stupid.
And
I'm not even an expert.
The last thing I
explosives.
saw was this yellow. Everything in my vision, I saw the match hit the gunpowder, and that's it. Everything turned
Well, yeah,
yellow.
you just threw.
And we were inside this apartment complex where the sound hit all those apartments.
Oh my god!
And on three sides, and everybody came out on their little deck and was like, "What the actual fuck was that? 100-foot,
When you came to though, they were all like,
Yeah, there's this kid.
Oh my God, yes.
13-year-old kid with black face, and this 100-foot flame is just now gone, back down to zero. And anyway,
so half the crowd was like, "That was badass." The other half was like, "This black-faced motherfucker."
some of them were like, "What the fuck? You're gonna fucking kill us, dumbass." And other ones were like, "Damn, that was dumb." And anyway,
How about the next?
nothing ever happened really. We
How
didn't
about the
get
next
into-
episode? We just improvise a firework and light it off. That'll be the next episode.
There you go.
No. I've been banned from explosives, man. I've blown
Oh,
too much shit
come
up.
on.
Is your house insurance paid up?
Well, I was going to go out in the street. I'm not going to do it in the garage.
Oh, okay. There we go.
We have cameras that are mobile, so
light a.
we'll just go blow
light
shit
some-
up and like whose explosion
We'll
was
get
better.
an old car. We'll light it on fire and push it down the street. How about that?
Okay, well you
If it hits your car or my car, I don't know. Maybe not.
Whose car
Maybe
we
not
gonna
car.
use?
I'm gonna.
definitely not using my truck. I will beat a bitch down.
No,
My truck too pretty.
we'll find a used one or something.
A used one, maybe
They're
a
all
Ford.
used.
A Ford.
Hey,
something.
Ford. Yeah, they don't run anyway. So
I got to
just
use
push it.
Dodge. We'd actually literally have to push it up the hill in order to push it down the hill. But
Hey, I knew
I'm not biased.
back in the day, Alaska Sales and Service said we'll give $500 for any car that'll roll into the lot. So a buddy of mine had a car that didn't even have an engine in it. They pushed it all the way from Chugach into Anchorage.
Did they
From
roll it in?
Alaska Sales and Service, they got behind it, pushed it, got it going fast enough, rolled it into the parking lot. Got $500 for it, took off from the car. The guy went out. Thing won't start. The guy, oh shit, there's no engine in it.
And that's the last time they did that deal.
Well, it probably was worth more as parts at that point, right? Than $500. You can part
a
these days. You
Studebaker.
part a vehicle out. Well, yeah,
You
there's
can
not a lot of
recycle it. You can take it to the recycle.
Not a lot of
They'll
people
actually
looking
weigh
there.
a whole vehicle there. No, you just put it on a scale,
You can get down $250 for crushing them, right?
something like that. Yeah, it's not. I did it with a buddy. We fucking took his truck and we loaded all of his shit that he didn't want from his house, and we fucking drove it there, parked it. He went in, talked to some dudes, came back out. We parked it again, got in another vehicle, and left. So I don't know what happened to it, but he got some money out of it, like $450 or something.
Did you guys get that dead hooker out of the trunk, or did you leave her in
No,
there?
that was the reason we did it.
I see.
And it was a truck. She was just buried under some
Yeah.
shit. Some leaves and a tarp.
Mm-hmm.
And some love. Maybe some semen. I don't know.
Ooh, that smell.
Ooh, that smell.
So don't mess with us, or you'll become the bad smell.
Can you smell that smell? All right, break face. I'm done. I'm tired.
Break face.
I'm done. I'm good. I thought this was a 30-minute show tonight.
Oh, yeah.
we went over just that.
It was supposed to be.
We went over by that.
The first 30 minutes was just not what Breakface is about, but it needed to be said. So
Yeah.
the rest of it now is fluff.
Just edit it into the funny parts, if there were any. I don't know.
And that will be the opener.
Yeah.
Yeah, flip the whole thing upside down.
Just
Yeah, you could
I can
Find-
do whatever the fuck I want,
find
right?
me doing
Right?
this and that, and you could, put stuff. This is my dick, and I mean, you could do all kinds of funny shit.
You just made the whole episode. Do that
There
one
you
more
go.
time.
This
Jerry Thompson.
and this was my dick, and this, yeah. Obama approved.
Oh,
Obama approved this, paid for and approved this message.
Oh my god.
That's funny.
What happens when you give three dudes cameras and microphones?
Damn it. And a couple of
And a
beers.
couple of beers and some fucking
Friday night. Look out.
fucking
Eagle-
A.
Big Alaska.
Well, I will say thank you to Alaska Woodshop. Thank you, AFC. Sarah, thank you.
Beard oil.
Veterans Party of Alaska. No, Capo's done. Capo,
Capo's
yeah,
outta
he
here.
actually got a hold of me, and he's on a
Sabbatical.
that's a good He's doing. I think he's doing a challenge for himself. I mentioned it before that he has a cabin in the woods, and he's trying to prove to himself, I think, that he can live off of the land without any sort of outside.
That usually doesn't end well.
And he's doing it.
It's tough.
This dude, he can do it. I believe he can, and he's doing it right now. It's actually engrossed him so much that he can't keep up with product. So, he's still my boy, Adam. Rooting for you, man. Whenever you get over it, get it done. Let us know. But yeah, so
So
now
it's
that
just-
we're not sponsoring him. We just sponsored him. So Veterans Party of Alaska, and you two are sitting members. I got the chair and the co-chair, or the vice chair, right?
chair and vice chair. Yep.
Yeah.
We need you to please register to vote with us. It matters more than you know. It carries more power than you know. So you can still vote for whomever you wish in whichever election. You just need to register to vote with our party, because we're, nobody cares more for America than veterans. I think we've proven that. So.
They put their service in, their bodies, their lives, everything. And just a little, it might be a spoiler, but these two are actually going to start their own podcast channel soon with my help, and we're in the works on that. This whole studio you see behind you, we're going to refurb. We're going to rebrand a little bit here at Breakface, and as a sponsor and then another affiliate. Yeah, we're going to make this thing happen.
So look for the new show to be a little more political talk, but we are a political party. Sorry, and we'll try to make it as entertaining as possible, and maybe have a guest, from the political world.
If I'm going to produce that show, I'm going to have to ask for at least one nipple pinch every half hour, whether it be your own or the other guys or a guest.
Yeah.
When lean over here, I'll hook you up on your first one. Here.
Oh, is he going to nipple pinch? Oh, so he breaks out the fucking
one.
I said nipple pinch, not full on
There you go,
fucking
Steve.
S&M, bro.
Grab one of them and give it a twist. He won't mind.
Well, in that case, I'll keep the sex swing in the new studio area. But yeah, hey, thank you for tuning in. Oh,
Yep.
you have something to say? Go.
I was just going to say, thank you to all the fans, and all, like and subscribe, please.
Yeah, like, subscribe, leave comments.
Exactly. If you want to see something, if we're boring, if we're stupid, whatever, say so. Tell us. We might pay attention to it.
Well, don't
You can
tell
tell
us.
Steve he's ugly. We already know that.
Yeah, we are.
but
I mean, yeah.
I was gonna say, don't tell us we're stupid and boring either. We know that too. It's the trifecta.
No shit.
Better yet, come up with an idea for a show.
There you go. Give us a topic to fucking
Yeah,
to
tell
crush.
us what you want to hear, man.
To crush with facts, because that's what we're here for, is to crush.
And
We leave no stone unturned halfway, and then forget that it was turned halfway, and forget to figure out what our point was. That's
we just make a deadfall out of that stone. How about that?
exactly trap a shrimp.
It's a trap. Don't do it.
Are you trying to say we're out there digging skeletons out of people's closets and?
No, we're just smashing.
No, I'm saying that every
We're
time
gonna
I try to
roll
bring
over.
up a credible fact, I lose my train of thought and then can't remember and don't bring it up at the end of the show, and then that's how the show ends.
Yeah.
And people are
You
left
write all this
wondering.
crap down.
Or he interrupts me and I forget my train of thought. And
And I'm the old man of the bunch, and I can actually remember shit.
I think it was surviving the 80s. It has really took its. The 70s were rough enough. The 90s were rough enough. But I think the 80s were just, Jesus.
Cocaine. It's a hell of a drug.
If you want to get down.
Back then.